Sometimes the reason you're not getting promoted has nothing to do with your performance. I was reminded of this yesterday after a conversation with a senior director. He looked so exhausted. Not the type of exhaustion someone tells you had a very long day at work, but the type you can really see pressure written all over his face. And the exciting part is this is someone that had been performing. He hit the numbers, he hit the target, he delivered the report, he was always on time, he met all deadlines. And still, he told me, Joseph, can you imagine? HR put me on PIP after all of this. What struck me was not the fact that he was put on PIP. He knew it was unfair. After all he had done for the organization, after delivering the numbers, after hitting the targets, after submitting reports, after meeting all deadlines, after shouldering responsibilities that were not meant for him, and after stepping up for the leadership team that was never present, he still gets called into the office by the HR team and is told, you need to improve. And I think this is where most high performers get trapped emotionally. They don't just hear you need to improve. What they hear is, after all I have done for you, you still don't get my value, which I bring to the company. But here is where it gets uncomfortable. The organization may not be questioning everything you have done so far. The organization may be questioning how what you've done is perceived at the next level. Those are two different things, because he hit the numbers. The numbers were there, but the feedback was centered around executive presence, senior leadership behavior, communication, and how he was perceived at the next level. Now, think of an employee who spends until midnight preparing management report. They validate data, they triangulate the data, they reconcile variances. They even go ahead adding 5 more pages for analysis. And at 2 a.m., they are thinking, the management must see how hard I'm working. 2 a.m., they send the report. But the management may be seeing something completely different, which you don't know. They see a 17-page report. They see a report where the key message is on page number 14. They see a report where the recommendation is not clear. They see a report where risks are not prioritized. They see a report where leadership decision is not obvious. And the employee thinks they spent the whole night doing reports. They've put in their best, sleepless nights. But the executive is thinking, why can't this person go direct to point? That is where the gap is. You can hit your numbers and still not be perceived as someone ready for the next level. You can work harder than everyone else and still look operational. You can even produce the best analysis and still fail to demonstrate that you can anticipate, you can frame, and you can influence a management decision. And when promotion and salary get into the conversation, you start hearing things like, you need to demonstrate more leadership. You need to improve on your executive presence. You need to become more strategic. So you need to improve. And you are there sitting thinking, what do these people really mean? After all I've done for this company, this is what they tell me I need to improve. What do they mean? This is something I think most professionals discover too late. Executives don't communicate all what they know. They structure their information around what others need to know. They don't walk into the meeting narrating everything they know. They frame their information around what happened, why it matters, what is next, what they are recommending, what are priorities, what risk leadership should understand. This is why two people can have exactly the same information and they get completely different perceptions. One thinks like a manager and the other thinks like an executive. Not because one is necessarily smarter than the other, but because one of them knows how information is positioned, structured, and communicated at the leadership level. So before you say my results speak for themselves, ask yourself, do I know how to make my results speak at the executive level? Because your next promotion should not be the first time your company discovers that you are ready for it.